y'all. So I actually had a completely different video planned for today, but after the morning I had and just throughout the day, I felt God putting on my heart to speak about something different. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. And I wanted to start with James chapter 4, verse 7. And it says, submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Because that is exactly what I had to do this morning. As soon as I opened my eyes, it was just a flood of just negative thoughts that I was telling myself just in my head. I was just going over all the things I did wrong yesterday, things I could have done better, just bad thought after bad thought. And so I was laying here in bed, and it's Sunday, so usually I get up, get ready, and go to church. But as I was laying here just feeling terrible, I was like, maybe I should just stay in bed longer. I don't need to go to church. It's not going to make me feel that much better. And then finally, after a few minutes, I was like, okay, get up, get ready, go to church. It always makes you feel better. And so that's what I did, thankfully. But even then, I got up and started getting ready for church. And as I'm looking in the mirror, just still more negative thoughts. I was just telling myself I'm not good enough, not pretty enough. I need to lose weight, just all these things. And I was just feeling so bad about myself. And, as a Christian, I then realized, I'm like, okay, this is the devil telling me all these lies, because I don't usually tell myself all these horrible things. So I just stopped for a minute and I just said a short prayer to just ask God to just help me just not believe these lies and just realize that is not me. So then anytime a negative feeling or thought would come into my head, I would just combat it with something positive. And so it kind of just helped me get out of this funk. I was still feeling kind of off, but it helped some. And so then we went to church, and I was telling my husband about how I was feeling, and he agreed with me also, okay, yeah, that's the devil, trying to just get you to feel down on yourself. And then what I realized, I thought it was kind of, kind of cool. My husband and I read the Bible every night, and I had remembered one of the verses we read last night. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fitting. And last night we actually were reading 1 Peter. And so in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 to 9, it says, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. And I remember that. I was like, oh, didn't we read something last night that kind of related to this? And I looked it up and I was like, wow, that's so true. The devil just literally just lurks around, and he just wants to tear anyone down, especially Christians. And so we just have to resist him, just like it says in James chapter 4, verse 7, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Sometimes it's easier said than done, because sometimes it's so easy to believe those lies. In the past, I most likely probably would have just got back into bed and been like, okay, I'm not good enough today, so I'm just gonna go back to bed for an hour or two. Why should I get up and do anything? I'm not good enough. But, I feel like the best thing we can do when the devil is telling us those lies is, get up, be productive, go to church, go help a friend, even vacuum your house, just do anything to just feel like you're getting something done, just anything to feel good. And that's literally what I do when I'm having an off day. It sounds kind of silly, but if I'm feeling like, man, I'm just not good enough, I haven't done anything today, I will literally get up and do the dishes that are in my sink or vacuum, and it just makes me feel like, okay, I got something done. And something so little can make you feel better. And I mean, if that's what it takes to literally resist the devil, then do it. It gets your mind off of those negative thoughts and you're thinking about something else. So just go for a walk around the block. If, just anything that's going to get your mind from believing all those lies that the devil is telling you. Because we do not want to fall for his lies, because, God tells us, he created us in his image, and he knit us in the womb. He knows everything about us, and he doesn't want us to believe those things, because they're not true. They're simply not true. So, just whatever you have to do to get out of feeling those things or believing those things, whatever it may be, just do it, because we don't want to fall for the enemy's lies. And another verse that I thought was great is in Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19, and it says, "From the west people will fear the name of the Lord, and from the rising of the sun they will revere his glory. For the enemy will come in like a flood. The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them." The enemy will come in like a flood, and that is what I felt this morning. And even before reading this verse, I told my husband, it was like my mind was just flooded with negative thoughts, and it was just terrible. I was like, I feel so bad about myself. Throughout the day, like, I started to feel so much better because I just did not want to just lay there and sulk in the negativity, which in the past I usually would do, but that's the worst thing we can do. We just need to just combat it and just try to be productive. Don't let our mind go there or to believe those lies. And I mean, I'm not saying we can't have a bad day, because I feel like there's a big difference in having just a bad day or like believing the enemy's lies. And we don't want the enemy's lies to be the reason we're having a bad day. So we just, like, I mean, just keep going back to James chapter 4, verse 7, just, you know, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So many times I just tell myself that throughout the week, like, okay, resist the devil, he will flee. Sometimes if you're just feeling these lies from the enemy, just, you know, pick one of these verses and pray it over yourself, and hopefully that just starting there will help you. So, you know, if you just wake up, or not even just wake up, if you're just going about your day and just start hearing these terrible things about yourself or about, you know, who you are as a person, as a wife, mother, friend, anything, and just realize, you know, God is not telling you those things. Definitely not. It's definitely from the enemy. And so just realize they're not true, and go to God, you know, and he is going to bring you out of that, and the devil is going to flee from you. And, you know, just remember, like, we're God's children, and as long as, you know, we have God on our side, the devil is not going to win. So just remind yourself that when you're having a bad day or hearing all these lies, that he will not win, no matter what. I just pray that everyone has a great Sunday, and just resist the devil, and I hope y'all have a good week. Bye.